guys, let's take a selfie.
Oh, wait.
Woo!
Get it.
It's a video!
We, the young, are not a complicated bunch. You see, we take each day as a clean slate, a chance to experience more. Why turn down the volume when you can turn up the vibe? It's never about the destination, it's about the journey. And this is so true when it comes to South Africa. This land wants you to live in the here and now.
The coolest.
And not in some hashtag, because a place this timeless doesn't follow trends. It sets them. And her people have a way of making you feel at home. So come touch, taste, and live South Africa. There's so much more to see. Come journey with us.
Hi-Fi Corp is the home of savings. Get this KIC 204-litre chest freezer for $3,599, save $400. Or this Skyworth 55-inch Android Ultra HD TV for $8,999, save a massive $1,500. Or get this HP Core i5 8GB laptop with 1TB hard drive for $11,999, save $1,000. Price is valid until 10 April. T's and C's apply. Hi-Fi Corp, your #1 deal destination.
Good evening, this is Eswatini TV News at 8, read to you by myself, Notile Sitole, alongside Nomatlabiso Ngambule. First up, let's have a look at our top stories. The Minister of Health, Lizingosi, says improved health care for Eswatini calls for collaborative efforts. The Minister of Public Works and Transport, Chief Ndlahlaza Ndwandwe, says Eswatini Railway has room for growth and expansion. The government of Eswatini has provided a budget for a consultant who will carry out a salary review for civil servants. The news. In a press release issued by the Office of the Prime Minister regarding the participation of Eswatini in the SADC Troika Summit, the Prime Minister says on the 4th of April 2022, the Kingdom of Eswatini was invited to participate in the extraordinary summit of the Organ Troika. Eswatini is scheduled for Sunday, the 10th of April 2022 in Pretoria, in the Republic of South Africa, to present a report on the situation in the country. However, government informs the nation that today, the 7th of April 2022, the SADC Secretariat sent a notification that the summit has since been cancelled due to unforeseen circumstances. Government will continue with preparations for the Sibaya National Dialogue, which are already at an advanced stage. The Minister of Health, Lizingosi, says improved health care for Eswatini calls for collaborative efforts. The minister has been speaking during the commemoration of the World Health Day on Thursday.
On Thursday, the Ministry of Health joined other member states in commemoration of the World Health Day. This year, the day is themed Our Planet, Our Health. Hence, the Ministry of Health partnered with the World Health Organization, WaterAid, Eswatini Environment Authority, the Meteorological Service and other organizations. Speaking during the commemoration, the Minister of Health, Lizingosi, said this year's theme calls for collaborative efforts for improved health for Eswatini.
We need to find long-term solutions for ourselves and perhaps we contribute to the rest of the planet on how we can deal with these critical issues where we are beginning to see that the earth is just one earth and our home, and it is about our health.
UN Eswatini Resident Coordinator's representative Benjamin Ofosu Korateng says climate change continues to impact universal health.
Climate change is manifesting in increasing temperatures, rising sea levels, changing rainfall patterns, and more frequently and severe extreme weather conditions. WHO estimates that more than 13 million annual deaths globally are due to avoidable environmental causes, including the climate crisis that we find ourselves in.
On another note, panel discussions by different stakeholders reveal that heavy metals waste and face masks continue to be a problem in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and that the country is running out of space for landfills. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Suekoza in Pabane.
The Minister of Public Works and Transport, Chief Ndlalhlaza Ndwandwe, says Eswatini Railway has room for growth and expansion. The minister, who was in the company of the ministry's portfolio committee from both houses, toured Eswatini Railway operations at Timbaga, Stogoto and Matsapa.
The Minister of Public Works and Transport, Chief Ndlalhlaza Ndwandwe, who was in company of the portfolio committee of both houses in Parliament, visited Eswatini Railway to get an insight of the company's operations. The tour started at Mbaga, where the minister toured the construction of Mbaga Drive Port, which is in the first phase for now, worth 20 million Mbalangeni. Currently, the place has hired over 60 locals of Mbaga and equipment sourced from the same place. Phase 1 is currently 4.5 square meters, and Phase 3 will be 900 meters squared, and the whole project will be complete in the next 3 years. They then proceeded to Sitogoto, where coal is being mined under Eswatini Railway. They were explained to that Maputo line was previously underutilized, but currently it is doing very well. The tour ended at Matsapa, where timber is now transported by rail, previously by road. The minister applauded Eswatini Railway's effort and an input into the Eswatini economy.
Siyabonga kakhulu loliwe kuyabonakala indlela lembili uma uva ngoba sisahamba uyadiva naleti nombolo tiyavela ukuthi kuloko sibone emathuba ukuthi kungaka lokungavela. Sicale nje le endasi Embaka lapho sibona khona ukuthi sekutawulayisheka imithwalo leminingi lesuka Embaka. Mbaka ke lodutane mhlambe nabo ushukela le labana le product yashukela lephinze kube ne-ethanol. Ngiyakholwa ke ukuthi nakuleli khono lenu Mbaka lolwe lekusoma ndawuqhubeka nisomela abanye singagcini kule mthwalo le njoba nje kuyasho ukuthi vele babeke liphaca ukuthi lungisani phela lolwe masinyana umthwalo wethu sesijake kuubeka eminyango.
He says more luggage will be loaded through rail, which will bring income and the use of technology being embraced by the company. The portfolio chairpersons from both houses said they are impressed as well.
The portfolio were much impressed ngendlela siyibone ngayo. Lelebe bakhuluma ngayo ukuthi loliwe ukuthi lebakondawo le sikhanze ku impressive kakhulu. Sesihambile ke safika nasesitokoto sikhanze ukuthi kulethe amathuba emsebenzi.
Sigcina kufunza ngayo but besingade lama operations ayo. But siyatibongela lamhla siyabona ukuthi la ka railway kunengakhulu lokwenteka khona and siyabona lokuthi umnotho welive utawufukuka kakhulu la ngakule part ya ka railway. Siyatibongela kakhulu and nangalendlela labasebenta ngayo sifikile Sitokoto basitshela ngokuthi sebaqala kuba nokuthi ba operate 24 hours.
The portfolio committee promised to support railways initiatives. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibi with Vimungo Sinzinisa, Mbaga.
The Minister of Public Service, Mabulala Masego, says the government has provided a budget for a consultant who will carry out a salary review for civil servants. The minister says the COVID-19 pandemic made it difficult for government to have resources to fund the salary review exercise scheduled for 2021. The minister says consultations with all stakeholders will start soon. The minister also refuted news reports that government had discarded the salary review.
In March 2020 to date, the country and the world over has been battling with the outbreak of COVID-19, which necessitated that resources be redirected towards saving the lives of Eswatini. This has made it to be difficult for government to have resources to fund the salary review exercise scheduled for the year 2021. Government has, however, felt it important to provide a budget to cater for a cost of living adjustment for the financial year beginning 1st April 2022 to cushion civil servants against the ever spiraling inflation. Government has also provided a budget for the engagement of a consultant who will carry out the necessary review for civil servants. This exercise is expected to start from this month, and its report is expected to be out before the end of this financial year. Government therefore is appealing for calm and cooperation among civil servants during this period. We request civil servants to be patient and allow these processes to go through for the good of all parties, and also to ensure continued service delivery to the nation.
Senators have requested a collaboration between the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Economic Planning and Development to minimize the country's debts. This has been said during the official sitting of the House of Senate on Wednesday.
When the House of Senate resumed its parliamentary business on Wednesday, the Minister for Finance, Neil Rickenback, motivated that the House refer the Eswatini Economic Recovery Development Policy Loan Bill to the Portfolio Committee. Once the bill is passed into law, the World Bank will loan the Kingdom of Eswatini 1.2 billion emalangeni. Delivering his preamble before the House, the minister said, this bill, once passed into an act, it will help the country in improving universal health coverage and further help revive the country's economy, which was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The purpose of the loan is to mitigate against the COVID-19 pandemic, to achieve universal health coverage for all citizens, while ensuring an economic recovery path in the medium term that relies on fiscal stability and stimulating economic growth and development. This is the second development policy loan to the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini by the World Bank, which builds upon the stage set by the first operation. The government has viewed the pandemic as an opportunity to reassess its development agenda, and as a result developed an economic recovery strategy that will be anchored on macroeconomic stability, fiscal consolidation and private sector-led growth.
Members of the Senate House forwarded their concerns, mentioning that the Ministry of Finance must work closely with the Ministry of Economic Planning and Development to ensure that the country doesn't drown in debts.
Siyayisicela ukuthi akabe khona Minister Economic Planning. Atokhona lokusichazela ukuthi i-economic effect yale mali lena lesiyiphasisayo ithini. Nyalo ithi le loan lena, it's Eswatini Economic Recovery Development Policy Loan. Economic. Asawathi lo ukuthi i-GDP itawu affecteka kanjani kunayi loan lesitayinika minister.
Leli vele abantu sitashiya ngalethi kwenethi. Uyaphela lo mnyaka lotako sibuyele emakhaya solusanibodi. Yashiya leli vele nganda nje kulethi kwenethi. Kade wasibulala labantu bangaphandle. Kuthi shiye live lemaswati etikwenethi. Nokuthi ke kokugcina mengameli. How I wish ukuthi nelitiko la economic planning selike lifaka umlomo. Solo siqalile siboleka imali. Selifaka nje umlomo ukuthi kusahamba kahle yini na.
It also specifically in what areas le loan bill lama process ayo. Yini mbamba kuhle vele tawuvakala emhlabeni sikhuluma nga universal health care coverage. Kuhle lokho sikhuluma ngendzaba tetempilo. Sishoni exactly knowing ama challenges, ama problems esinawo ka health.
The minister was then awarded a chance to answer on the members of Senate's concerns.
This loan here is specifically because what we're trying to do is the moment debt is for budget support, we do try and reduce the years. It's not 25, 30 years like we get from the World Bank and AFDB and these banks. This one is for 11 years. So in 11 years' time, this debt will be paid for. We will probably have felt the pain of this loan that we are getting.
The Senate House then moved that the Eswatini Economic Recovery Development Policy Loan Bill be moved to the Ministry of Finance Portfolio Committee at the House of Senate. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samgel Suyakoza with Muslim Konta, Parliament.
The Minister of Health, Lizzie Nkosi, says the government has approved the hiring of 394 healthcare workers for new positions and an additional 85 for vacant positions. The minister said this in a press statement on Thursday.
The Minister of Health, Lizzie Nkosi, says the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini has approved the Ministry of Health's request to create 394 new health workers positions from a budget of 70 million emalangeni, as well as a waiver to fill 85 vacant positions. The minister said this in a press statement on Thursday. The minister says this follows the coming to an end of healthcare workers' contract on the 31st of March 2022. She says the Ministry of Health had been waiting the completion of the government's budgeting process and waiver approval from Cabinet to fill vacant positions within the ministry. The minister explained that following this approval, the Ministry of Health has quickly engaged on the recruitment process to fill all the approved positions. She says efforts are currently underway. For recruitment of qualifying candidates while ensuring adherence of government recruitment. Of Health further highlighted that service delivery has been negatively affected in several facilities and deployment of staff will be based on priority needs. The minister also expressed the ministry's sincere gratitude to government for the support on this matter. She further thanked the nation and healthcare workers for bearing with the ministry during this period. The minister concluded that it is anticipated that the recruitment exercise will be concluded by mid-May 2022. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samgal Swekoza with Muslim Konta, Babane.
Eswatini Railway is in the process of exploring other minerals at Sitokoto, adding from the existing coal mine. The Eswatini Railway CEO Nixon Dlamini says there's a need to operate 24 hours a day due to demand of supply. He was speaking during the tour of the Eswatini Railway operations by the Minister of Public Works and Transport, Chief Ndlalhlaza Ndwandwe, who was in the company of the portfolio committee from both houses of parliament.
Eswatini Railway is in the process of exploring other minerals to add on to the existing coal at Sitokoto. The coal is doing well along the Mozambique rail route, which was previously underutilized. Eswatini Railway CEO Nixon Dlamini says there's a lot in store to develop and keep Sitokoto busy.
Last year, sahamba saya Mozambique siyokhuluma nabalingani bethu. CFM bakhala bathi vele le line leli eMaputo beli underutilized. Bekungaba nje le stimulus of fuel. Ngiyabona bebetha itonnage lapho 100,000 umnyaka omunye o 200 lapho nje kanti le line lento le 4 million tons. So right now lama figures nje lesikhuluma ngawo sesiwashaya labo 100,000 whatever ngenyanga last month nje seshaye 58,000 tons ngalamalahle. Because nakungena lo shukela sekuyangeteka. So that corridor iyavuthwa manje indzawo yaseMaputo nalaba abamakhelwane bethu nabo bayajabula.
Carl Bach, the HSC manager on site, says they engage locals for job opportunities.
So we actually at about 40% local and 60% South African at the moment. So we want to try and get that over. So that's over the next few months that's going to happen as well. And with that comes more employment from the trucking companies, from your trucking companies. So more of the community gets employed through that as well.
Ron van de Westhuizen, who is the head of transport, says they are looking at diversifying while working at Sitokoto area before their contract elapses, but which he hopes that they will once again engage the company and government to expand the contract.
I think one of the key things is that we will not only be focusing on the coal products, but as we mentioned that we to diversify in commodities of chrome, ferrochrome, magnetite, iron ore, to make sure that we're not dependent on one commodity alone, but we can use the infrastructure to facilitate different flows and different bulk commodities through the infrastructure that we got available.
Locals have been empowered with skills at Sitokoto to maintain the equipment at all times. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MCV with Vuminko Sinzinisa, Sitokoto.
Students at Sebenda National Institute graduated on Thursday. These are students who are undergoing vocational training. The Director of Education emphasized the importance of skills especially during times where there are no jobs in the country.
On Thursday, Sebenda National Institute at Mbabane held its vocational training graduation for students who were undergoing various courses, which includes architecture, computer and sewing. The Director of Education, Ndombenhle Dlamini, says the ministry advises students to utilize their skills in order to make a living.
anaka futhi asikakhohlwa ukuthi bebahamba ku endleleni lematima kangakanani sisenetingcinamba te-COVID kodwa kuzanywa bazamile ke nawe uyadibonela nje emsakati ubona nge-display lebayivete yonke indzawo kuto tonke letingonta leti temaskills lebawafundzako.
Sebenda National Institute Chief Executive Officer Dr. Tibegile Manana says Sebenda advises Amaswati to learn regardless of their age.
Labafundi laba bangene lakasebenza kutofunza ngesikhathi lesikabi hayi kangwane kuphela kodwa emhlabeni wonke lapho bakhanzane nale sifo saka COVID. Kodwa siyababonga ngokuthi bacinisele babeketele nasiveta kwekuthi asenteni kanjena kenyalo kuze bakhone kufunza bakhuthatela beta batofunza.
Speaking on behalf of students, Piladi Mokhashwa says the skills learnt from Sebenda will go a long way in ensuring that they are able to make a living.
Njengoba lokhu ngisuka lana ngisayotendela mina ekhaya ngiyotakhela yami indlu ekhaya. Ngiyajabula kakhulu akabilula kona but ngiyajabula and ngiyakhuthata nakulabanye ukuthi bachubeke nabo bete batofunza lana kwemule.
Sebenda National Institute's aim is to ensure that everyone has access to quality education. Reporting, I am Tembelihle Makuchwa with Temba Shabangu Mbabane.
And now we'll have an ad break followed by a look at our financial markets.
With the change in technology, out-of-home digital media is designed to grab the attention of people who are always on the go. You can now watch your favorite show, Usile Breakfast Show and Dinzaba at 7 on your favorite YouTube channel.
It's simple. You can stream these shows by following these quick, easy steps. Number 1, open YouTube. Number 2, search for Eswatini TV and click on Eswatini TV. Number 3, after you had entered on Eswatini TV, look for Dinzaba or KPS. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the bell button to get notifications of our video uploads and streams. And lastly, enjoy the stream. Stay home and watch Eswatini TV. Stay safe.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. You are still watching Eswatini TV. Let's have a look at our sports news. Secretary General of Eswatini Referees Association, Bongin Shongwe, says the association is proud of the job being done by women referees officiating both at Premier League and National First Division level. Shongwe says there are more programs being provided to see how their numbers could increase. For now, Premier League has 4 women officials who are also FIFA and CAF accredited.
Eswatini Referees Association says it is a joy to see local women referees who are displaying their skills both at Premier League and National First Division and showing the utmost professionalism, as also their numbers are likely to increase in the near future.
Sijabula kakhulu ngekukhula kwelizinga labonompembe besifazane.
The Referees Association Secretary General Mbongini Shongwe says for now the country has 4 Premier League female referees who are also fortunate enough to be accredited as FIFA and CAF referees. Shongwe says with now football allowed in different corners of the country, the numbers in elite leagues could increase due to the increase of local competitions.
Tinhlelo tiningi kufuna kube nema-classes bafundise borafela nje basacalile football association akwenda lokho utawubona borafela labaningi kakhulu labaqhamuka etigodzini betaka Premier League in the next coming few seasons.
Shongwe concluded mentioning that the association will continue provide training, both practicals and theory, by trying to capacitate more women female referees in the country. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabisum Sunera, Mbabane.
Premier League of Eswatini Executive Member Honorable Sibusiso Nxumalo says Premier League of Eswatini is working hand in hand with the title sponsor MTN Eswatini in providing ways of professionalizing the local football league. Nxumalo says soon an initiative will be outlined on how football supporters will have a say on the league award winners.
In a setup that was more of an open session for both Premier League of Eswatini and their title sponsor MTN Eswatini, alongside the club's public relations officers, Premier League of Eswatini Executive Member Sibusiso Nxumalo says a way forward is being provided to try and grow the local league to the professional level where supporters will have a say on who is likely to be awarded for specific category.
So, an SMS initiative. Ukuthi kumele ama-fans afake isandla decided who's the player of the year, who's the goalkeeper of the year, who's the coach of the year.
Lindokuhle Dlamini from MTN Eswatini says day by day the organization is working to ensure that the growth of local football in the league is ensured. Cindy Sotabetse, who spoke on behalf of club's public relations officers, says supporters have the ability to contribute in the professionalism of local football. Both organizations, being Premier League of Eswatini and MTN Eswatini, have promised supporters to attend this weekend's Yellow Sunday in their numbers as surprises await them. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabrice Msonera, Zuluini.
That's all for now. Before we go, let's have a look at our headlining stories. The Minister of Health, Lisingosi, says improved health care for eMaswati calls for collaborative efforts. The Minister of Public Works and Transport, Chief Ndladla Ndwandwe, says Eswatini Railway has room for growth and expansion. The government of Eswatini has provided a budget for a consultant who will carry out a salary review for civil servants. And with that, we sum up our bulletin for the evening. Up next is the update. For myself and the team, thank you for joining us. Good night.